Share some pearls of wisdom for that young artist. What should they focus on? What should they avoid?
You have to be stubborn about what you see because no one else is seeing it.
What I say? What you should Sarkodie open me updates. That one called Sark update. That is in 7 out of 10. Subscribe to YouTube Sark updates official. For how to subscribe. Never for Sarkodie.
I know say by now I'm aware say obede akudru UK or one or two things and Friday and I was starting the media tour. And you didn't carry who news from Abraham, we didn't call the news, the voice newspapers, and also call ESPN. Then you know interview and Saturday and or announce so say currently the way I take it to know amount for a request for more currently a short to inti ride or make streaming on live. Until I went to me and to take it in the bit me to streaming live tickets show no cost for bit me streaming video concert no live and colored and also Endra Sarkodie pass you through one Ghanaian restaurant by the who details ever bremo by finally interview Sarkodie koye Friday like the voice newspapers no currently interview now drop here breaking down now first question obedi nka attack here and say how been and Rapolic F4 and also why Rapolic for 13 years now. I've been by say currently obey show no from Ghana at the UK and obey air announcement. I'm being see how ordinarity story in a bar near dive into conversation proper. I'm see how obey air announcement the entire the show no a call UK.
So what does it mean symbolically, emotionally to stage it for the first time at the Royal Albert Hall?
Yeah, this is incredible, my brother. You know, Rapaholic is, I think, 13 to 14 years old. Started off as an album launch, one of the greatest albums to come out of Ghana and Africa, Rapaholic. And the turnout for the first launch was incredible. And it's only right that we kept it as an annual thing. It was a bit funny because now we're thinking I have to release an album every year to be able to do it. But it didn't make sense. Sometimes you're not inspired. You could stay uninspired for 3 years. And is that going to mean you're not going to do the event? So we kept the name Rapaholic throughout the years. So it's grown beyond a Sarkodie concept to a platform that celebrates Ghana music. And as you said, finally moving it out of Ghana because it's well positioned in Ghana already, you know, always sold out. We just tried Kumasi. That's, you know, me going back to my roots. It was epic at the stadium. Yeah, we just thought about it that we just have to move that brand outside Ghana and where else, if not London to start with, and then branch out to other places worldwide.
What can people expect?
What to expect? You know, I've been tweeting about this. I think it's funny, but I want to be in a crowd one day watching Rapaholic, not performing.
Right.
So Rapaholic has this energy that's hard to explain. I think it's just a lot of positive energy, just enjoying great music and fans gather under one roof. You don't have to necessarily be a fan of Sarkodie, which is very necessary that you have to be, but if not, it's a platform where it celebrates all forms of music. You know, we've had almost every artist you can think about on that stage, you know. So it's a lot of surprises. The show itself is not sold based on you coming to see this and that. Of course, Sarkodie is the artist, but it's a party for music, especially African music. So when you come to Rapaholic, you just have too much in one. So what to expect is an back-to-back fun, enjoyment, great vibes, basically.
Vai, sena Sarkodie narrative store no. Ochima Charlie. The entire audition no cool you can experience new terrain. Why you should for Ghana more than 30 years. But sir, you can follow experience it. And also the date Independence Day 6 March. Obedi am planning. I'm contact Royal Albert Hall phone. And I'm show mu date and say, okay, 6 March are available. Ti mutimi nkwari mutimi buki Royal Albert Hall 6 March. And probably Emerson the team eternal John say, 6 March the Rapaholic. And I say Independence Day wa Ghana. Any afa. Into man planning crown put some show no 6 March. By date and I available Royal Albert Hall no 6 March. Intimate how obedi narrative story the entire mufa 6 March.
March the 6th, which is, you know, when it's happening, marks Ghana's Independence Day as well. I mean, but how conscious were you of aligning this London show with a moment of national pride and historical context?
Nobody will believe me, but if I should tell you that I did not plan to do Rapaholic on Ghana Independence, you're not going to believe me. But that was not the plan.
It just lined up.
It just lined up. And that's how organic and spiritual that was. We got back the date from the Royal Albert Hall that 6 March is what they have available. I was like, wow, this is crazy. It's actually on Ghana Independence, and we get to choose that date. We have that date to ourselves. Big shout out to the team, the whole team, the team back home in Ghana, A-Team, KJSPO, Kilimanjaro, coming together. But then we had that very day which celebrates Ghana independence. It doesn't get better than that. It's already a party, and then you're bringing Rapaholic on top of that. So yeah, it was not planned, but then I think it was supposed to be that, and finally we're here.
Right. After the man who didn't show no a course 6 March. Our team plan say be Ghana like Ghanaian artists be able show 6 March and I style be almost a wotage there be anyasa. Our team contact Royal Albert Hall for shocky. Almost some show March. But March no date being available on March. And Royal Albert Hall for catch almost say 6 March available. Apart from 6 March, days in na amount for ebuki. Into 6 March na available. And 6 March and so Ghana Independence Day. And definitely afa. And until I start with the team FA 6 March. And during conversation, like I said the only thing we start with the question. And then I start with say, Jane now kafa emba. And I said Jane Tina, Jane there to be an otai a prezi emba. And I say our 2 big sisters or not and a yakra into no why imagine baby out udiniye and also the mammy bomb pie money yip and then they out to my bomb pie money yip and Sarkodie explaining Gintia on fa and bar in the agro and Gintia or Tybon pie ma and I said or Tybonium and my bar we said carry Charlie baby you free buy grow a man and a my ebuni pa honestly ebuma on farm man the agro now me see some Sarkodie kafa and bound. Uti la interview we be able the entia then that be able the table or the na fans no more na edwa by yem for to Sarkodie but yem for to be now maintain some of the kind we a breakdown maintain some of the kind.
The show obviously also falls on International Women's Day weekend, right?
Yes.
Strong female presence planned, I know, but what role have women played in your journey creatively, personally, culturally?
I grew up with my mom. That explains everything. My mom has been a strong pillar in my life, a prayer warrior, my guardian angel. Gave me the strength to be who I am today. Created the bond between me and God. From that, I have 3 sisters. Amazing, beautiful sisters. They were, and I'm the youngest, so they used to. The protection is incredible. So I've been around women and I've seen what women can do, and now taking it to my wife and how supportive and supportive that she is over my entire career. She's been there. Now having my daughter in as well. So there's a lot of women in my life, and I have a song called Strength of a Woman. So that should tell you my stance on what women stand for in my life. So it's a very special time, and I had no idea it was even the time for celebrating women
Again?
Yes, again.
So it just lined up again?
Aligned, everything just aligned, and it's just amazing that all the things I believe in and what I want to do just align at the same time. Yeah, so big shouts to all women worldwide. God bless your struggle.
Vibe. After the what you the entire start with the table and I said nyoma and from the Strength of a Woman, Can't Let You Go, uti Black Love album now, Odonyo Monkwa, uti Shiba, uti Jailer, uti bro, a man Charlie, a man and man Sarkodie perfect. Enjoy conversation. Like I say, okay, eba Ghana, what you think pa? By outside Ghana. How ben a fans receive on we say eba Ghana they more than him say yeah but they king. But by international world like UK, US and other country now. How ben am receive or track or onion. Upia na so perform here. How ben am receive onion na Sarkodie cast though Ghana for I don't know. By enye balance Ibab love na benya figure na no okọ outsider a different terrain no a different na Sarkodie explaining say oh dear Ghana for man no all the okọ outsider a different feeling na mo nti nsema Sarkodie kan we na interview abede the voice news by a breakdown ye break ni nyina down and nsema Sarkodie kan ye break ni nyina down na mo nti nsema Sarkodie kan di nti a Ghana feeling is different. Or outside and so feeling no a different. When you see my Sarkodie kind.
Is there a difference between how Ghana receives my music and abroad? I would say yeah. But energy wise, it's kind of the same. Sometimes when I go to the diaspora, I think because they don't have you 247 to themselves, the energy is a bit more on a higher compared to Ghana because they don't get a chance to see you on a day to day. In Ghana, you can catch Sarkodie performing at a wedding or a party somewhere, but in London or America, it takes times like this for me to be here. So I think the energy is also very up, but it's quite similar. Worldwide, I think I get the same type of energy. And one great thing about Sarkodie is I try sounds. So I do typical indigenous sounds that can cater to my fan base back home in Ghana. And I have a lot of songs that I can play in America or UK that can get a different crowd. So I kind of like get similar response worldwide.
It's interesting you said it, because hip hop is often seen as a Western export, right? But Rapaholic feels like a homegrown African statement.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I wondered, what does that moment say about Africa's position in global rap culture today? You're seen as probably the most famous hip hop artist out of the continent right now. I think that'd be fair to say. And would you accept that moniker?
I will have to. I used to, want to run away from that, but the fans want me to own up to it. Yeah, I'm not going to do that no more. When we say rap, first off is black music, and when you trace black, you're definitely going to come back to us. And in our language, Chi, rap is termed as Kasahari, and Kasahari means just talking fast. So we've always had that back home. When you come to the Ashanti palace, they have this talking drum, and then they'll be speaking. It sounds like rap. Before we had hip hop, that was already there. I don't know what that. Now you get the meaning of the. No. When the king is coming, you have this guy who.
It's like the court gesture, as they call it, the person that leads.
Yeah, kind of like interprets what the king is saying, or what the situation is. Kind of like the MC. Yes. So that has always been in the culture back home in Africa. So hip hop, if you trace it back, you still get back to the black people, which is back home in Africa.
That lead orator, that person.
Exactly. So it's nothing new for us. That is why we were not drawn to other forms of music but this one. So it's not something new. It's just we taking back what we own. And big thanks to God that I happen to be one of the pioneers pushing rap culture worldwide.
Vai, I know say by now the Oti Sarkodie ase, and yes Sarkodie nkwan bi etono. Shatta, Stonebwoy, ne other artists. Omo Ghana feeling different. Omo ko outside Ghana feeling different. And next up question I say, dear Ben Amawa stay consistent for more than 15 years in the game, bro. It be bad on my folly. But then Amawa stay consistent for 15 years. Still no legacy. Now Sarkodie ka say, or coming up no. Say na category bi ma one fit ina na onye hwe ba bra Sarkodie ra game say one or two things be no say NT no there be or forget bibia and stay true to ono and stay true to ono finally be consistent and be landlord e game you say e bi ba omo box say one J Grammy and say one J award we are untimi and sustain I say what freely and what fall off there be enya sanity. Though on J Grammy, but I am more than we be J Grammy. If you stay true to ono now maintain some about the kind drawing interview na dintia amana stay consistent e will game no maintain some about the kind.
With that status then, Sarkodie, how do you balance celebrating legacy with still feeling hungry to evolve creatively? What keeps you sharp?
My love for music. The reason why I did music was not to be famous or to make money or to do shows at the Royal Albert Hall. Or, everything is just icing on the cake, and you just get you get rewards for what you're doing. But my main reason for doing music is just me expressing myself creatively through music. That was why I picked up a pen from day one. And I think with that, every artist, if you can stay true to what made you do it, you're not gonna necessarily fall off from what your purpose is. If it becomes now being famous, you get more into I want to be called on the street and say Sarkodie. That's what you want. You want pictures. You want autograph. To me, I think that's where you start falling off from what the purpose really is, because that's not what it is. What it is you use your music to impact and tell your stories through the music. I know it's very hard because there's a lot of distractions that makes people find it difficult to stay on purpose. What I've been able to do over the years is being able to stay true to the purpose and not move away from it. And I don't know how. Don't ask me, because I have no idea how I do that. I just stay hungry and love music. From the first day I picked up a pen, the reason that made me write, I make sure I don't lose that till today. So that's what basically makes me keep going.
Right. After explaining how I was stay consistent to the game, I on fall off. I'm on for doing say, oh, yeah, 1v1 rap on a Charlie. Sarkodie and final green now corner. Or say explaining said the entire rap in tree, bro. As a rapper, and yet singer, and yet Afrobeat artist, so as a rapper, I was my dominating game in more than 15 years and still not all dominating, bro. And yeah, come on. And Sarkodie Chill said, the entire or rap in tree. If you say, yo, what check here, way back. And currently crown more on IT, Eminem, Lorraine, Busta Rhymes. But I won't take in seminar more canon. But I'm feeling vibe no. Into Sarkodie can say, there be. Near Ghana ni, make a tree. Then I mean to mean to tree, it was be out to draw so near, what the American. But I was saying to me 1 or 2 things to be a bit so out US, UK, would see me vibe now. I also see me track now, when you're feeling be all the one to the American day, but when you're feeling be at the track now, but the spelling said the entire was stay consistent to the tree for more than 15 years. Still not irrelevant with gaming. Sarkodie explaining BBR and Uti sa part we ever take the Sarkodie air can or Sarkodie ase. I'm on for still about intimate rap or brofo, but Charlie. Jay-Z, Eminem, almost ain't me air rap or French and actually. But into a balance, a normal, maintain some Sarkodie kind.
You've shared stages with, the likes of T-Pain to gigs, Idris Elba. What do these cross-cultural exchanges, though? What they taught you about music as a universal language?
Yes, that's the line, universal language, and I have that line in my bio, I think, on Twitter. The music is the language. I figured that out way earlier in my career. I wasn't willing to rap in English because then I felt that was not going to be no difference. I wanted to hear my native tongue on big radio stations outside Ghana, and I was able to do that. I figured that out. The technical bit of music is that music is music. It just has to be very good. Then some of my favorite artists, I never understood what they were saying. Let's take Youssou N'Dour. That's someone I listen to, but I have no idea what he's talking about. And let's be honest, even back home in Ghana, we listen to Eminem, though he's saying English. Most of my people still don't understand it. Busta Rhymes, we don't. Now I do, because I kind of get the American slang. But way back, we never knew what he was talking about. But it was very, very good. Jamaican music is the same. Sometimes we don't know what they're talking about, but we love it. So I think if the music is very good, you're definitely going to find the right ears for it. And that's what I mastered. So I mastered on delivery and just the beauty of music, and not just based on what you're saying, because a lot of people are not going to get what you're saying, but you have to present it in a way that makes it pleasant for the person listening to it.
So they got to feel it almost beyond what they're listening to.
Exactly. You're going to lose something regardless. Just have to pick what you want to lose. So the person who thinks he's saying something that people understand, some people still don't understand it. So you can take a J. Cole who's saying something very, very deep, or you come to my country back in Nkoko, they don't understand what he's saying. They don't get it. So he's still missing out on something. And Sarkodie will also say something, and Ashantis are going to understand what Sarkodie is saying. America, UK, they don't get it. But then they have to feel the music, and that's what I try to do with my music. So happened when I had to like do collaborations with someone like Idris Elba, gigs, being on the stage with Miguel, T-Pain, all these people. It's just because of the type of music you make. You know, you make great music that make them appreciate your art, you know, beyond what you're saying.
Sarkodie ase. Nti after staying consistent for more than 15 years and also rapping in Chino, obede esa advice young artists and also ubia opeso yese ono obede. Sarkodie advice ubia say you oye we a obitima yese obede. Ba wanye we na we na wanye we a chale untimi nyese obede. Ebi say uti amanfo ano a bro forget it. Untimi achieve gu ankobede ti amanfo ano say oh obede rap twi one way rap twi and anko rap like a switch call before a chale anka ye hu obede said ye hu no anko ti amanfo ano anka ye hu said ye hu no e be say why like or ye stubborn to on talent or stubborn to on safe ono ananim de oye ibap ono enanim de oye nti no ti amanfo ano anka current anka wonti me said ye wotie and wodi nka ka say oba industry ni mu no there was certain category bi a one fit in a wa faili so we Grammy we BT awards we chale obede NJ Grammy but still on or consistent o game ni obi wa waje one Grammy but our free system ni on empacho no nti Sarkodie advice young artist am nti advice obede advice young artist no.
There's a young Sarkodie sitting at home in Ghana, looking at every step you've taken, looking to emulate everything you've done, and then surpass it. Share some pearls of wisdom for that young artist. What should they focus on? What should they avoid?
You have to be stubborn about what you see because no one else is seeing it. I repeat this a lot, but I mean it. Even Sarkodie will not be able to tell you if you're going to make it or not. Nobody has the power to tell you what you're going to do. When you are alone by yourself, you see things, you imagine yourself. I used to envision myself doing this. I used to sit in front of the mirror and talk like this, talking to the camera, being on BET, receiving awards, having some of the biggest stages. I envisioned it. But if I had explained that to anybody at that time, it would be hard for the person to. And there's no fault to whoever is receiving that information.
Well, your vision is your own.
Exactly. It's your own. So what I can say to that young boy, young girl, whatever you're trying to do, whether music or fashion, any other profession, you see your goals. You have to be stubborn about it and zoning. Just keep to the purpose. Don't have no distractions. Just stay true to it. And the more you zone in, trust me, it's gonna work with time.
Vibe. The advice we na start for them young artists no. And also the difference between old Sarkodie and new Sarkodie. The difference between old Sarkodie and new Sarkodie. About the churchim and also drawing interview. Sark say adibu or take before or be feature or before or be show and so by yard you know. Or take one or two things to be. Now me say the difference between old Sarkodie and new Sarkodie and bosses are over the etiquette before by yard you know. Me say a part no embra over the HH interview no o break one or two things down and the way I see break things down what's the interview na see ye ibab what's the interview na see then ye na me see how over the narrative story no e was during interview on it the voice newspapers for a year.
Biggest difference between Sarkodie now and at the beginning of your journey?
Oh, that's a great one. I haven't thought about that. So, okay. This is not summarizing everything, but this is something that stands out. Mm-hmm. So, when I was coming up, at a certain point, I used to care about what the industry standards were as far as success is concerned. You know, you have to win a Grammy, you have to win a BET, mm-hmm. You have to do this, you have to do that. You need to sell this amount of music. You need this monthly listeners on Spotify, all these things. It's just industry standards that kind of like box you in. So now, no matter what you're doing, you feel like you're not doing enough. But then I grew to understand that it's nothing like that. You know, it doesn't exist. It's more of what you're doing personally, what fulfills your soul. So if you can quiet out all these stats about who a global artist is and who this is and who your impact is this and that, I broke free from that. And I think at this point, I record freely. I give music to my fan base. Some become huge, some doesn't, but it doesn't really change nothing. So my view on music now is very, very genuine, authentic, and just being free to be able to create. Yeah.
So, in an ideal world, then, what's left in terms of boxes to tick? Like, who would you like to perform with, work with, places you'd like to kind of deliver your art?
Boxes to tick.
Because clearly Royal Albert Hall is one. But what else?
As that is out of the way, yeah, we still want to keep going high. Yes, being able to reach. It's always fun to have your music reach wider audience, and that's what we're still trying to do. To be able to get it out there. I thank God for where I am at this point, to be able to reach this amount of people. It's not easy, especially for a rap artist to be doing what I'm doing. So, but I think there's still more room for improvement. I love the learning process. My biggest high is having a new challenge, as far as sonically, features, music. So I'm open to tapping into different worlds. I think I was introduced to certain type of music that I had never heard. It was interesting to me. I want to be able to try that. So yes, it's just, to me, I think the sky's the limit. Just keep going, and figure out what's in the space for me.
Vibe, right here, what's the entire Sarkodie, the old between, I said the new Sarkodie and the old Sarkodie, and also during interview, no, but then I will say, way back or currently cramp, Charlie, BP a BT, or call like Momo, or call MTV, or call all hours in Nana, ayo solo on a pay. The college for an OFI. Or could be T. I would be able to be a should be international should be could be an ayo no pay. But the international I can say, there be. As a current acquaintance, Bibia Sarkodie, Bibia Sarkodie. The college for an intimate enter get along. It's currently or some to slow down. A more. No more shooting me a target along with me. Even me could be T. Me shatter, me stone boy, me blush sheriff, me on that vibe no. And until now, obedi slow down and obedi church mu the intia or slow down. Person Ghana for in a target along or baby ana or who Ghana for. Oh, it was a currently or Jenny First Beauty Award or no pet and a coy. Or Sakwa J Beauty Best International Flu. I no pet and a coy. Into no, or but it's not cast on there be. I was saying to me slow down. I gonna phone to me catch you along in there to me pull it along. You could be a collective. Said Nigeria for no could be a the video Westcade Benna boy. Now me see that explanation as Sarkodie at the mind. Drawing question pushing like you put on say I didn't think currently slow down. Oh music career him and Sarkodie explaining BBR. My feedback on Embra.
Ghana as a whole, in terms of the global perspective on it, it's different now, right? Things are different there. How does that impact on you? How do you see the change? And just in terms of you, I guess, influencing the legacy beyond what you've done now, what would you like to do?
As far as Ghana is concerned,
Yeah.
I was having this conversation 2 days ago with someone, and I told him that I realized that my purpose is tied to my country. It took me years to figure that out.
Right.
So, like the conversation I was having earlier, that hit me at a certain point where it's not like I was on a decline, I was on my ultimate high. And that was when I broke down, because I figured I was winning personally, but my country was not up to speed with me. And that kind of like pulled me back. And I realized that my purpose is seeing Ghana win, not just Sarkodie. I just have to be maybe a face, but my ultimate goal is to see Ghana win. I have to be very honest. If you take Africa, if you take, of course, Nigeria is in there, but right next to that, you can mention Ghana. At least you have 2-3 artists you can mention. So that I'm not going to take away from my country. But of course, I want the invasion to be more intense. So moves like what we're doing now, selling out the Royal Albert Hall, I can only imagine what the other artists are coming to do right after this. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So I want my country to really invade and do great things. And that will also secure my own personal legacy, if your home is strong. Yeah.
Vibe currently what's the entire Sarkodie share shaman for videos up and down or what am Ghana industry I that can be together Charlie in interview na wutie no wan say yes Sarkodie enka nsem but the time bi na no enka nsem wi and interview the Sarkodie enka nsem yi pa and obede finally obede ka say Rapaholic we no why show no for 13 years and few years ebe Charlie ope say and I say show we no ope say obi a we Rapaholic ni bibia no on ka say just regular show but or the experience obenya experience e will show na say obenya experience e will show na say amanfo akoshow but Rapaholic there a different terrain, a different environment, a different feeling. Obiara no wakọ Rapaholic a okasa we dey normal regular show there be obere echi mu apese oba show we bi there what the experience ekufie na main tin nsem a Sarkodie kan and I say nsem a oba Rapaholic ni bia and I say feeling a oba show ni bia obenya obere experience ni bia main tin nsem a Sarkodie kan.
For young African artists and watching this milestone, what do you hope that Rapaholic London proves about what's possible?
To show people that we can actually put up a proper show that is worth every penny, and having people coming back and back again. You know, to show you guys that we've been doing this for a very long time. It's just about time that we expose it to other people in the rest of the world. So we want people to see that we can do an actual show. The shows that when you go, the highest level that you've seen, you know, that's what we're trying to do with Rapaholic.
So when the lights go down on March 6th at Rapaholic London and that becomes history, how do you want the night to be remembered? By yourself, Sark Nation, and African music as a whole?
The only word I can see is an experience. Experience. Or the only word I want to hear after the show is the experience. That's all.
So listen, good luck. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to share with us before we part ways?
So what I want to say is, you know, to my people back home and, you know, my people here, this show, the timing is like on point. I want us to like get there right on time. I think it's 6 or 7. 7. Yeah, 7 on the dot. I want everyone to be there because I'm going to be there from morning. I don't want to go back home. You can't trust the traffic in London. So
especially around there.
Exactly. So I want everybody to come early so that we can have a good show. You don't miss nothing. The intro we have is crazy. You don't want to miss that. You know, we've really planned the intro. I want you to be part of it. So guys, make sure you pull up early. And also we have a big announcement right after the show. So see you guys. Yes, and we are going to be live streaming. So you can go on lounges. Okay. You can go on lounges.tv or rapaholic.london.com to stream. So you guys are not missing out. You know, the tickets got sold out within a week. It was 7 days exactly. I felt for those who don't have tickets because I see a lot of, you know, tweets, but there's a good chance for you guys to have an experience for yourself at home in the comfort of your home. So stream live and watch Rapaholic on the 6th of March, Royal Albert Hall.
Lastly, after finally BBA interview na Sarkodie and Friday no, the chat was say when your ticket ni bi anto a obetimi eto bi e online wetimi stream show no live and call it or online ticket no abonten a Sarkodie I video ka say e wa abonten and also quite all social media platform bia na link ni da ho abetimi click etimi ato de may video about it how etimi ato ticket. May video about it, how it's my online streaming ticket. Should be 6 March show no question a bit much streaming show no live and colored bro. Matomedy into your hand at all the interview Sarkodie the need the voice newspaper person. Full breakdown any of the Abraham watch channel. Full breakdown any of the Abraham watch channel into when ya interview be answer full breakdown and who watch channel. Make sure say subscribe and turn on notification bell no e dey man say drop it or Sarkodie content bia na bro obedi Kenya e wo channel hanam na me ka mo say pay already monetized YouTube channel and I say channel obese monetize account na e bit ma sort out elevate for rate no e wo for me pa and I say be about boosting bia say social media boosting streaming boosting say boost to followers likes views for TikTok IG Facebook all social media platform elevate for a bit ma boa and I say obviously boost streams Boomplay, Spotify, YouTube, Audiomack, baby meet my sort out. I'm waiting that for me. Lastly, obviously advertise you product or business or channel how you feel you can know TikTok, IG, all your social media platform. And come baby you meet my sort out. You waiting that for me. You be share on flip side. We out.
What I say, what you should Sarkodie open me updates. That one called Sark update. That is in 7 hours. Subscribe to YouTube Sark updates official. For all that subscribe. Never for Sarkodie.